What's going on, everyone? Trent's here, and today we're going to be going over my Battleground Magicka Templar healer build. So I'm going to go over gear, race, consumables, skills, and all that good stuff. Alright, let's get to it. So first we're going to be on our Argonian, best PvP class, especially for a healer, with the healing done, max health resistances, and then the resourceful passive. So that gives health magic stamina back. It's very, very strong. Definitely want to be an Argonian. I may be a high elf, but I would say Argonian probably 90% of the time. Alright, so we're going to be running a 5 Rattle Cage right here. Now you want to retreat them Triune, because you need all the stamina you can get since we're going to be running our CWC food. You could also run Witch Mothers if you want, but I would recommend the CWC food. It's the best and it gives a little bit more max health. Then, so 5 Battle Cage Triune, triple magic recovery on all of them. Rattle Cage Resto, you want to go Nirnhoned with the spell damage glyph on it, and then a Nirnhoned sword, and a Rattle Cage shield. I mean, you could, and then we're running 5 Shackle Breaker and 2 Earthborn. I mean, you could run it the other way around. You could run the Rattle Cage body or a mix and match, and so you could just craft Shackle Breaker, Sword and Board, and Resto, but I just happen to have them. So, because I played around a couple different sets before I set on this, so I had the Resto and the Sword and Board. Then you are going to run 5 Shackle, infused big pieces, and then Impen on the 4 small ones, and then 2 Earth Core. You could run, I've seen people running Choke Thorn, I've seen people using the Bogdan set, but I like Earth Core. It's very, very strong. Gives a huge heal and then negates the enemy effect. So, to recap, we're running 5 Rattle Cage with 5 Shackle and 2 Earth Core, triple Triune and triple Magic Recovery, infused big, Impen small, Nirnhoned Wept, and Impen Shield. You can run a few shield here, but I run Impen. We're doing this because I wanted to have major sorcery within the class and not have to rely on potions or on entropy because it's really clunky to use. And Rattle Cage actually gives good spell damage with the 3, 4, and 5 piece as well as major sorcery, so it's not actually a bad set at all. When we proc our light attack, we've got, I think, like 2,800 3k spell damage, so we have a lot of spell damage. And our Magicka pool isn't that low because we're going to try everything, so we got 28,440 and 28.8k health, with right around 15k stamina of Shackle Breaker and the Triune, which is where we want to be in Battleground. And we're in the non-CP campaign right now. Then our magic recovery, if you'll see, is very high also. So we got 2150. That's because we're running the Atronach Mundus, and we're also a vampire. I played around with not running vampire, but you just have to run it for Elusive Mist. The snares are so bad in this patch, and Major Expedition isn't bad at all. Plus, we're running Guard, and the Guard synergizes really well with Elusive Mist. So you pretty much have to run it. I've seen people not, but I like to. Then, let's go to our skills. So we've got on our back bar, we've got our Soul Assault. I mean, you could play around, and I use Meteor, Shooting Star sometimes. You could even run Dawnbreaker of Smiting. You could run... I don't really like Rest Ulti that much. I mean, it's decent, but it's only a single person heal. Then you could run Radial Sweep. You could run Nova or Remembrance. There's so many good ultimates you could use on a healer in this part, but I like Soul Assault. Particularly for the Nightblades, it just doesn't let him stealth for 2 seconds and does a lot of damage. Then we've got our guard here. So this is a guard bar. You could switch it out and run another damage ability, like Puncturing Sweep, and then use either Vampire's Bane, Total Dark, Purifying Light. There's a lot of good skills you could run, but this is for me. I like to guard people. Then we've got our Channeled Focus here. Want to keep this up at all times because it gives your major resistance buffs and restores Magicka. They increased it from 120 to 240 this patch too, so it gives 240 Magicka back every second. Then we've got our shards here. Does a little bit of damage, but also gives whoever you're guarding or your teammate in Battlegrounds back resources, which is huge. And then Radiant Impressions give a huge buff. It's only a 1.8 second channel now, so it's high damage. I steal kills all the time by just Jesus beaming someone when they're low health, and it is great. It's awesome now. I love it. Last skill on our back bar healing is going to be Repentance. Now, I don't use it that much. I mean, it restores stamina and gives you resistance buffs, or your recovery buffs when slotted. I personally, depending on the map, I like to put on Aurora Javelin because they change the stamina morph but not the magic morph, so you can knock people off ledges and stun them. It's really annoying, but it's fun to play with. Then on our front bar, we've got Guard again, Inner Light. I slot it for the extra Magicka, and then also for the spell crit because we're in heavy armor, so we're in 5, 1, 1. So we've only got 20% spell crit. Then Ritual Retribution. I took the one that does damage, but you could also go the other morph of Ritual of Retribution. I think it's called Extended Ritual. I mean, both of them are perfectly fine. Then Elusive Mist, we talked about that before. It's really strong, and it gives movement speed and gets rid of snares. Then Breath of Life. This is going to be our main heal, and it's still really strong. It doesn't work when you're line of sighting, but it's a strong heal. Then we've got Remembrance. So that's our oh shit ultimate. You can't get stunned or removed. You just want to proc that as soon as you get low health. If you don't have a potion or a Earth War proc up, you're going to want to use Remembrance because it's a really strong heal. So you can also, instead of Aurora Javelin, put on like Mutagen or Illustrious Healing. They're both good also. Ward's good. Combat Prayer. There's a lot of good skills you can run. This is pretty much our flex spot. So there's the skills we run. Now, you're going to want to have someone guard the whole time because you can sustain guard with Argonian and Tripods and Repentance and just the way you play. So you can definitely sustain it. And you're going to want to pretty much keep them guarded, Breath of Life them. And if they're full health, you can just resto heavy attack to get back resources. But if they go low, use the Breath of Life. You should have Earth War procs going around healing you. And then Remembrance also. I mean, this build isn't really too good for healing a lot of people, but it can heal 1, 2, 3 pretty easily. So, I also said I'm using Atronach Mundus, we're a vampire, and we've got our CWC food. So, that's the build, the skills, how we play it. And if you got any questions, just ask me in the comments below.